This is the Distinctly Detroit podcast, the only pod that explores why one wants to be in the D. I am your host, Feodies Shipp III, the director of the University of Michigan Detroit Center. Join me as I interview students, scholars, leaders, and innovators about living, working, and loving in Detroit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Distinctly Detroit podcast. On today's episode, we have Obie King Jr. He is Obie King, the lead singer from Obie King and the Muthafunkas. He began his singing career in 2013 and since then has worked with David Brandon and the All-Stars, Weebone, and Obie King. In the Reinforcements, Obie King has performed in many live venues throughout Detroit, and in 2022 is the winner of the Detroit Black Music Awards Best Male Vocalist and runner-up for Entertainer of the Year. When he is not charming crowds with his performances and songwriting, he is pursuing additional career as an entrepreneur. Please help us welcome the talented Obie King Jr. Welcome, sir.
Right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on board.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
So please tell us, where are you from originally?
I'm from the west side of Detroit. Born and raised in Detroit. Yeah.
And where'd you go to school?
Central.
Okay.
Detroit
Central High School.
Yeah. Graduated in 83.
Okay. Yeah. And so what influenced you to go into music?
When I was a kid, it was bands up and down the block, all when I was coming up, like in the 70s. And as far as I can remember, it was an older guy next door was named Mr. Cole, who played the blues. He had blues bands over there all the time, and I used to sit there and listen by the side window in the door and just enjoy myself. My father saw how intrigued I was about the music and started bringing home guitars, amplifiers, and just giving me instruments and stuff, and I was like real excited about it.
Okay.
So,
were there any other musicians in your family?
Like my sister played the piano at the church. My auntie played the piano at the church. It was quite a few female singers in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how did you receive any other type of formal training?
No, none whatsoever. It was just based by ear and just learning and experience by just, going after what I admired to do.
Okay. And when did you join your first band?
My first band was when I was maybe 15 or 16. I put together a group of guys because on the block in that area at the time, it was either you was working on a bike, creating a bike, or creating music. So, the group of fellas we got together, because it was always musicians on the block.
Yeah. So
we used to sit back and admire them and said, we're going to put our own band together as well.
Okay. What kind of music was that first band?
It was like what kind of music?
Yeah.
Was the first band? It was like creating our own music or trying to play after like Jimi Hendrix, the Isley Brothers, Al Green, or B.B. King or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So who would you say your major influences are?
James Brown, Al Green, Ryan Isley, or the Isley Brothers, just put it like that. Johnny Guitar Watson, B.B. King.
Okay.
And Jimi Hendrix, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you like? Who do you like modern day? Like what type of music are you listening to these days?
Modern day, like when Prince came on the set, I liked it instantly. And that really encouraged me to even try to use my voice to sing. So I dibbled and dabbled. I went to all his concerts whenever he came to Detroit, but saw him, Rick James. The first concert I ever went to was the Parliament Funkadelics. I was like 14 years old, and my nose was just blown away. My ears were just blown away from that point on. It was very exciting.
So how did you come up with your latest band name, the Obie King and the Muthafunkas?
Well, the Muthafunkas was a group. This is the group of guys who love to play the purple music, who love to play the funk and keep it funky all the time. And when we would try to organize and get things together, everybody would be MF this, MF that. And then one guy in the band like, hey, how about we call ourselves the Muthafunkas? Y'all always saying that to each other. And soon we heard it, everybody bust out laughing and say, that's it, the Muthafunkas.
Okay. So, what do you like about performing on stage? What is your favorite thing about being up there?
Uh, uh, Getting the crowd's reaction, and it excites me. It's like I'm giving my own self a show. Because when I'm excited, I know it can spill out to them to let them feel the energy on being seeing what happy and excited and not caring what nobody think is. So that's one thing I love about performing.
Okay. And how would you describe your creative process?
My creative process is like mainly hearing the music in my head. Like when I create my own songs, I have a few, but they're not all the way complete, like far as a complete album, but just trying to go off my inner self to be creative by not, listening to somebody else's music and going off of that.
Okay. How would you describe your collaborative process when you work with others and making music? How do you let others contribute to the process?
Um, I let a lot of the musicians that comes together in my band when they feel like they love what I do, I love with how they play, and we all love that one cabal of that mixture of music that we do. That's different from others, but it's also a challenge to make us all. That's what keeps us as a whole. That little cabal of music that we all love together,
Okay.
and that's how I pick my musicians also.
Yeah, that was you just kind of went in my mind and pulled out my next question. It was like somebody wants to play with Obie King, what do they need to bring to the table?
Um, Happiness, energy, not caring what anybody think, uh, uh, just diving in their soul and bringing out the energy to just make people in awe. Because the musicians I have, they put me in awe. So I know that if they put me in awe and it excites me from me having an awe with the musicians that I look up to, I know it's a good thing that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your favorite venues to perform at?
The music hall, Aretha Franklin's Jazz Cafe, uh, the Concert of Colors. That's that's right there at the top of the charts. That was a big deal for me doing this event at the DIA. It was real professional. The sounds were immaculate, and let's see, a couple of choice clubs was, let's see, the Locker Room, the Office, located on Livernois. They call that Black Wall Street over there.
Okay.
Loving Life Lounge. That was Daryl Price's club. I had the chance to give a full concert, charging $5 a ticket. I didn't think it would work, but it packed the house, sold it out. And then the second time, I I someone had reached out to me, Andrea LB had reached out to me, telling me that I could do a venue at the music hall selling the tickets for $25. And I was like, you gotta be, that's crazy. They'll come and see me for that. And it worked. And I done it 3 times with the help of Sue Shields, putting things together and making everything come together as a collab. Yes.
Okay. So you sound kind of surprised that that you're building an audience. Like, what are your fans like? What do your fans request? Like, what do they appreciate most about your performances and shows?
Uh, let's see. My energy. My energy. I'm happy to be there. You can feel it. I can feel your energy. You up there like you enjoying yourself. I say because it's a party in my mind. And I'm gonna give you a party because I want you to feel the same energy. You know. So and with that, it was like I was blown away. I was at the Motor City Casino and I was dressed real sharp. I was dressed real nice, and I went to see Morris Day and the Time, and I was called on stage. One of the guys came down to say, "Obie King, you Obie King?" He like, because I've been out to Minneapolis and hung out with like Jelly Bean Johnson and a lot of the Purple people in Minneapolis, and he had me come up and line up like with the rest of the people, and I know that's a part of the show, and but the fact that I was just standing there and the guy came down and say, "Morris wants you to come up first," and when I came up there and I did the routine right along with Morris Day, man, that just solidified me like, you in there. Or I just felt good about it. And the crowd went berserk because there was a lot of people that I went to school with thought I was going to be opening for Morris Day and the Time with some of my Prince music.
Yeah.
They love when I do the Prince. I don't try to be Prince. I'm projecting the music from me being me. And that's where I'm well respected at in that aspect of music.
Okay. Well, I think somebody slipped you my questions before this, but that's question one. Who would you love to open for? Who would you be like your ideal performer to open for?
Morris Day.
Okay. So, and I'll flip it. Who would you love to have open for you?
Oh, who would I have open for me? Local?
Period.
Yeah.
You can have anybody.
Let's see, Angela Davis and LG Sings.
Okay.
Those guys are great. They like my favorite singers that's in Detroit just doing their thing.
Okay.
They are best. They're up there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna switch gears a little bit and transition to what we call our lightning round. That's where we ask you a series of questions about kind of your engagement with the city of Detroit and knowledge or with things you do. And the first question is, what's your coney order?
My coney order, 2 chili dogs, just 2 chili dogs laced with onions.
Laced with onions?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Favorite place to go in the city?
Favorite place to go? To the riverfront.
Okay. Who is your favorite Motown artist?
David Ruffin.
Okay. Favorite Detroit athlete?
Bettis. What's his name?
Jerome Bettis?
Jerome Bettis, yeah.
Okay. Favorite, what was that? Say favorite sports team?
Tigers.
Okay. And then lastly, where can we find you?
In Detroit, on the west side.
Okay. You got any social media handles or anything like that?
Yes. Obie King. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. It's just Obie King. OBIEKING.
Okay.
In Detroit.
What time are you performing this week? You performing on the Wolverine Outdoor Stage as part of the Concert of Colors?
Yes.
What day, what time?
Yes, I'm performing on July 23rd.
On Sunday.
On Sunday at 4 o'clock. We go on at 4 to 5. 1 hour of funk, purple funk from Obie King.
Obie King and the Muthafunkas.
And the Muthafunkas.
Saturday, July 23rd.
Let's get it.
At the Wolverine Outdoor Stage as a part of the Concert of Colors on the southeast corner of the Detroit Institute of Arts. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Distinctly Detroit podcast. We thank you for listening. You can get us anywhere you get your pods. Please like, subscribe, and rate. And we will see you next time. Thank you. This has been the Distinctly Detroit podcast. This is a production of the University of Michigan Detroit Center. You can find us anywhere you get your pods. Please like, subscribe, and rate us. This podcast is executive produced by Marlon Franklin, edited by Ranza Stanton, and written by Shaylin Jones and Feodies Shipp III.